Go out there, do the entry-level jobs, get into the workforce, prove that you matter, get agency into your own life. It's a much more enjoyable experience if you're going through life thinking that you control your destiny, and you'll get better insurance at the same time.
Dr. Oz may be saying it more directly there, but Republicans prove time and time again that they believe your value as a person, as a human being, is directly tied to your net worth. It may seem as though Republicans are still testing messaging around these Medicaid cuts. They're taking healthcare essentially away from millions of vulnerable people. But it doesn't seem like they've stuck the landing on what the right message is. I'm not sure Dr. Oz's is the best, and clearly Joni Ernst, everybody is going to die, quip wasn't well received. But let's hear what Senator James Lankford has to say.
People are screaming and saying, hey, it's kicking people off Medicaid. It's not kicking people off Medicaid. It's transitioning from Medicaid to employer-provided health care. So yes, we've got 10 million people that are not going to be on Medicaid, but they then are going to be on employer-provided health care. We think that's a better option for the taxpayer and, quite frankly, for their families as well.
Okay, so if I'm following, it's not kicking people off of Medicaid, it's kicking people off of Medicaid. Okay, thank you.
Right, that sounded like when they say that they didn't die, they transitioned.
Yeah, right. But people on social media were quick to poke holes in the fantasy of a perfect transition. Do the employers who don't provide health insurance know? Someone else says, except when your minimum wage job has no health care. Lankford said it would be a good thing because employer-sponsored healthcare is so much better. A lot of people point to these $0 copays as a quick retort, but let's get into the details. People with Medicaid report similar access to care as people with private insurance and much better access to care than people who are uninsured. I mean, we knew this. We know that being uninsured leads to preventable deaths. We know that the government-sponsored care, while in some respects is maybe not as good as like a platinum private plan, but it is better than having no insurance. And when you are in a situation where you are in an emergency and you need care, everybody should have a right to not go into medical debt as a result of just simply receiving the care that they need. But bear in mind that many Medicaid beneficiaries are on either fixed incomes or have super tight budgets because you have to means test into the program. It's for the most vulnerable, the working poor. And they're paying the same amount for a medicine, for example, or a prescription. And that makes up a much greater proportion of their income. Bread. It seems like Republicans, especially now in the Senate, that the bill is there, recognize this is politically unpopular. There are going to be sweeping consequences, perhaps electorally in the midterms, as people wake up to the reality, oh, suddenly I don't have healthcare anymore. And I can't, my job doesn't provide it, my hourly job. I don't have capacity to pick up another job that might provide it, or I can't find a job that provides it. So millions of people are going to lose health insurance. And a study this week that was highlighted by Bernie Sanders' office found that over 50,000 people will die every single year as a result of these Medicaid cuts. I mean, what do you make of this Republican attempts at spinning this?
They're ridiculous, but they're the same old attempts that everybody hopefully has caught on to over the years. The Republicans would rather take my tax dollars and give it to a corporation than take my tax dollars and give it to people. What's weird is, like, look at Walmart. There was some, I can't remember what year it was, but there was like $6 billion goes to Walmart, sort of, because like what Lankford or whoever that guy was laying out is like, oh, you're the working poor. Why don't you get a real job? Why don't you get a real job that pays you enough and gives you the health care? And the reason you don't have it is because you're not applying yourself to it. Well, what about the giant companies like Walmart that should be providing real jobs? That's not a tiny company. That's not a mom and pop shop. In fact, it's the opposite. How do I know? It's the reason there are no mom and pop shops. Walmart beat them all, but still they fail to pay their workers enough money that we don't have to subsidize those workers, the same Medicaid recipients that Lankford's talking about. Which kind of is like, don't yell at the people who work at Walmart. They already work at Walmart. Why don't you yell at the Walton family? Because the Walton family is not paying people enough for me not have to subsidize the rest of it. Those falling prices are gonna hurt someone and they're gonna need health care. Why do I have to be the one to provide it? Tell Walmart to get its act together.
Yeah, employers across the country have done this. Walmart is the best example because they're one of the largest private employers. But of course, these chain restaurants, these franchises, these multinational corporations deliberately keep wages low and also have wildly unpredictable schedules. So people are reliant on that job for some sort of some reliable income. And that makes it incredibly difficult, if not impossible, to get another job. So if they're increasing work requirements, that's what's going to lead to cuts. It's situations like that. Also, if you are a single mom, I saw this on CNN last night during a debate. If you're a single mom, there's a provision that increases the work requirement if your kid is older than 7. So suddenly you'll need to work more when your kid turns 7. That's going to lead to more people losing their health insurance. If their employer doesn't provide it, they're screwed because losing it as a result of these work requirements does not make them eligible for a life exemption to get a private plan on the marketplace. If they can even afford it, and the cheapest plans there are basically, I won't curse, they are insufficient. We'll leave it there. It is bad. You're paying for essentially nothing. It is a disaster.